Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. We are talking about Star Trek Discovery. I'm Matt, Jacqueline, Kim, and Jason. We are talking about episode five. Episode 5. A couple of us liked it, a couple of us didn't. So we're gonna have beef
gender
today.
split.
Yeah. This is called Choose Your Pain.
Watching this show is choosing your pain.
No, those are fighting words, Jacqueline. Those are fighting words.
Sorry.
All right, Jacqueline, tell us what you didn't like.
Go in.
I just feel like the show is still hitting the same premises of Burnham says what she thinks is the right thing to do. No one listens to her. They put her in the corner and then hilarity ensues. Why can't we just move past this premise of Burnham trying to be the voice of reason or maybe not the voice of reason and people ignoring her? Can we give her another beat?
Burnham confuses me because she never does the Vulcan thing. She's always right, but she never arrives there at a logical scientific method. She just does what's in her heart, which seems counter. I mean, why make her a Vulcan if she's never going to use it? And also this was the first time I agreed with Jason that Tilly was too much. and that when they're eating lunch, she was like, I get it. Everyone's more popular than me. And you just want to leave me alone now. And I get it. It's fine.
Right. Tilly's still getting scripts out of her CW show.
For sure.
But they wanted to give her that F-bomb. They were so excited
Jacqueline,
to give her that F-bomb.
So I had to pause it and be like, did I just hear the F word? And then wait, I did. And it was like a hard F. It wasn't a soft F. It was like, Tilly's a robot. We'll touch on that. I thought that yes, Tilly was bad, but to echo what you said, Kim, about Burnham, I think the reason why they're doing that with her is because maybe they felt that she was a little bit, they're trying to humanize her. She's softer now in this episode, I felt that she, to me, was more watchable. And also I thought this was a great episode because we got to see Lorca in action. We had the introduction of some other characters, and the Klingons weren't annoying in this episode.
Because there was 5 minutes of them. What did you like about it?
They spoke in English, and we could understand them and have their intonations instead of just I'm phonetically saying these things that I don't understand slowly as well.
Yeah. What did you like about it though?
I felt like this is the first episode that was doing anything interesting with the characters and touching on their backstories, except for Burnham, right? I kind of felt like she's the least well-written character in this whole show, which sucks, right? Because she should be more conflicted, and you're right. It's oh, no one's listening to me, but I'm right.
And then lock her in the corner again.
Right, and there's a moment where they're talking about the tardigrade, the giant water bear. I was like, she's gonna mind, oh wait, she can't, because she's not actually Vulcan. And I'm just so rarely seeing that emotion from her, and the act that she committed that got her in such trouble. She's not continuing to do that really, because again, you're right, nobody's listening to her. But I see such potential, and there was, I thought, really good writing with the rest of these characters.
I
the
think
Free
Lorca
Willy moment
is getting more interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Lorca's more interesting, but
he's not the hero of the show.
No,
he's not the hero of the show. But it's like you have shows. I'm gonna say no, they're gonna hate me for this, but Grey's Anatomy. And here's what: come with me on the ride for this audience.
What?
I told you that red shirt. I told you about that red shirt.
It's the red shirt. They're all gonna
beat
slay
him up
me.
in the comments,
No,
y'all.
but because
Grey's Anatomy.
It's a show where you have the lead character, but the surrounding characters are more buoyant than the actual lead character. In this episode, fine, Burnham may be a slow burn. This is the 5th episode in. We have to have buoyancy with the other characters in order to keep it going. I love seeing Stamets and his partner. That was great, even though I thought the LGBT component was kind of contrived for them to do that. The way it was written was done well. I love the moment with Saru and Burnham and that exchange. That was great writing there. That didn't seem so hunky and so what's the word I'm looking for? Cheesy, yeah.
What about the Free Willy moment at the end? We're gonna go let the water seal free.
I'm glad because I'm tired of this worm being the lead of every episode. It has these powers, it does these things. It's great, we get it, but set it free. Let's move on to something else. I think that's what happened in this episode, Matt. Is now we have an arc that's beginning with a different story, leading to a different area within the Federation and within Starfleet.
I thought that was so
questions.
cheesy.
Yes, Kim.
So
I'm not sure I have answers.
Why did Lorca need to travel by shuttle if immediately after they showed they have hologram communication capabilities. Why did he need to be there physically?
Because then you
a
don't
plot
get
device?
these great escape scenes,
Yeah.
and we don't get to meet Harry Mudd.
Yeah.
Harry Mudd.
And that was silly too. Like, are they gonna make him like a Q type character where he shows up just for a minute? Because he didn't really seem to have, like, I was expecting more from Harry Mudd. Like when they were gonna bring in the character, like they did some Easter eggs to what will be eventually his story later on in the franchise. So that was kind of cool and cute, but it was just pointless. Like you really didn't get the complexity of that character, what I thought it was going to be.
Right, that didn't have to be Harry Mudd. That could have been anybody.
That could have been anybody. Why?
Yeah, I get one of the things. Sorry, Jason. One of the things that I get frustrated with sometimes, and Star Trek Discovery is not the only show that does this, but sometimes I feel like these shows will lean too into the backstory and the canon and bring in too many Easter eggs to the point it's like, if I want to still see that stuff, I'll go watch those old episodes. Show me something new, show me something interesting, break some new ground, introduce some new stuff. If you're gonna bring Harry Mudd in as a character, do more. I don't think that what they did with him really relies on Harry Mudd that we'd seen in the original show. That being said, I think Rainn Wilson was fine in this. I think that the standout kind of performance and writing is really Anthony Stamets.
Yeah.
And I love that end scene. Like,
what's going on there?
Yeah.
Trouble.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be really sad if that's an intro to the Mirror Universe.
He said it in the mirror.
No.
That's what I was thinking.
That was the only, I would
I
say.
think they're gonna do a Mirror Universe episode for sure.
You're not excited about that at all.
I mean, because of course they do it, right? Like, look, the Mirror Universe was fun already, but we got that in Enterprise. Who cares?
Yeah, Enterprise.
The thing that's missing from the show for me when you watch television in general, and I always call this the magic of television, is there's just no magic with this show. There's nothing that draws you in and says, that captivates you. Because I mean, if you're a Trekkie, you're automatically subscribing to this because of
Not necessarily.
But okay, but you're like a super Trekkie, Kim. You're like a mutant Trekkie, you know?
I mean,
Jason,
I'm
you're the
ready.
outlier on this
Yeah,
panel.
you're definitely an outlier.
No, I'm okay with that. I'll be the black sheep in the corner, but no racial pun intended. But there's no drama. There's no, you said about Rainn Wilson, anyone could have played that character. Harry Mudd, not being a Trekkie, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Some of the things he said, like, you haven't seen the last of me yet. The corniest line that anyone could say, it's like Jack Nicholson, where they get a load of me, you know? Just corny. I think that this show's missing an element of drama that's real, and that makes you think like, wow, that really captured my attention.
Well, not to bring back your Grey's Anatomy analogy.
It's okay, Grey's is a great show.
It is, but this is what I think you're right. That lead character was dark and twisted, and then she had a growth arc, and the people around her made her better and move forward. They have just left Michael in this place, and she has not really moved forward, and that is the most frustrating part of watching her, is because at this point you would hope to see her move and progress.
But she has though, and I'm sorry, I came out to cut you off. I know you want to say something. She has, because even though she's not making the right choices that the panel wants her to make, the dialogue and the exchange that she's having with people is showing, like I said, a more human side to her. It's giving her more depth, because in the first 2 episodes, Michael Burnham to me had 0 depth.
Well, that's just because she was in a heightened situation. She had a relationship with the captain. They were very close. That's why she willed her telescope.
But we've within the show they've fast forward to that. Now we're here and she's the villain. She's the outcast that people really aren't giving a chance to. And so now we see people giving her a chance. And of course that's gonna lend, like if me and you are enemies and we're at odds, and then all of a sudden I extend a warm gesture to you, that's gonna totally change our narrative and totally change our interaction. And more things will come to fruition. I think that's what's happening with Burnham. We're gonna see her move forward in time. I mean, how many episodes do we have? It's 15 episodes, right?
10
we have
more.
10 more. I mean, that's a lot of episodes to see if Burnham's gonna, do something that's not a slow burn.
We're just 1/3 in, but I know Star Trek's have a history for not having a great first season, to put it nicely.
Right.
But this is, I don't know if I can deal with that anymore. We're in a modern era of television where I have so many things I could be watching.
And the writing should be better.
I think the writing has gotten a little bit better. I don't think it's where it needs to be. And look, like when we watch television, we develop a good television show, the kind of television show you really get hooked on, establishes something akin to a familial relationship with the characters that you watch, because you want to tune into them every week and see what they're up to and see what they're doing and see how they're dealing with life. And the closest one I feel like I'm there with in this show is, of all people, Stamets.
Yeah, I agree with
Right?
that.
But are we so starved for a new Star Trek story that we're ready to drink the sand on this? Because this is sand, and it's not good sand. Like, are we so thirsty?
You've exactly nailed it. I will admit that I've got at least a few more episodes in this for me because.
But you see, with that said though, Matt and Jackie, because you guys are such fans, you guys have such knowledge of the franchise and the movies. As someone who doesn't, that's watching this and critiquing it from the aesthetic of the show and a technical angle, I think it's gonna get even better because this 5th episode for me, I mean, okay, so the corny set the tardigrade free into the universe was kind of like, oh my God, but if you really look at it for what it's worth, it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment.
I saw Free Willy, I'm over it, I'm sorry. Like, okay, like I'm not out on the show, but I am very much feeling like we're giving this training wheels in our assessment of it.
I've given it more chances than it deserves.
Then I would give
moniker of.
I'm the wrong guy to talk to, ladies. I'm watching The Inhumans.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, no.
God.
I mean,
Oh, God.
I'm enough of a fanboy that like, okay, I'll watch
No.
it.
With that struggle wig, with that reduced struggle
That wig
wig.
is the worst.
I
The
know.
Gifted's pretty
I know.
good though, but that wig is like stop the
I did a
madness.
video on that wig.
Girl.
It's so bad.
Like there's YouTube videos that could help them slay that wig better.
Yo.
Anyway, but listen.
There's some product that can work that out.
Whatever. I'm not one of these people that like wrote it off from the get, but the show has not progressed enough for me to say that I really like it tuning in week to week, and that's a problem at this point. I don't dislike it, but I'm kind of just there.
So I'm gonna ask a different question. First up, are any of us watching The Orville?
No.
I'm a little bit. If this was not a Star Trek show, would we still be with it?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Like I've been watching The Expanse, and that show is terrific.
Yeah.
Right. So
I did a binge of Mindhunters this weekend, and I was like in it for every single episode. The new Netflix show with Jonathan Groff, and I didn't think I'd be in on that. And that's like CSI and real life crap. Like it should have been boring.
All right, panel. So, okay, since we've highlighted and itemized all the reasons why this episode and this franchise is, Discovery's sucking, what were some of the good standout parts of this episode?
Stamets. Yes.
Yeah.
Stamets.
Agreed, yes.
Saru, I also agree with.
Yeah.
I like him.
I do too.
He's growing on me a lot.
And he revealed how he truly felt. When I watch television, I look for characters that I can see myself in, right? And so for a lot of people, it's hard to reveal and actually admit when you're envious, when you're jealous, when you're competitive.
that was a great speech.
It was great.
I agree. I'm glad you brought that up, Jason, because that was a great set of dialogue when he was talking about what the loss of the captain meant for him and all of the experiences he wouldn't get. And I thought that was really poignant.
I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
And then when he said it, it's just like, of course.
Right,
Of course.
and it's kind of heartbreaking. And there's that moment where I think that I'm like, God, I wish you guys could do more of this. Like, let's see more of that.
And Lorca's story, I actually did like for the fact that, you know what, Jason Isaacs is just getting to chew the scenery with this Lorca character, and he's doing it so well.
Yeah.
Like I felt some twinges of Malfoy when he talked about shooting his crew, which I also thought was a weird turn too. Like that was something where I was like,
They didn't just die. I killed them.
I killed them.
dark.
Yeah.
I thought Tyler would not go on board with that, but he did.
Yeah, but there's a certain level of, I wish that they would just lean into it more. Again, if you want to say this is going to be a darker Discovery because obviously we're on the cusp of war and all of these other things, fine, lean into it. Don't have that in the same episode where, I'm sorry to say it again, we free Willy.
Right. It's like a Star Trek show that doesn't exist in any other semblance of TV that we've gotten in that. Sure, this is arguably darker than any other Star Trek that we've seen, but it's certainly not as dark as Galactica was. It's certainly not like The Expanse. There's plenty of grittier sci-fi that's out there, and if this is supposed to be the dark, kind of tortured character with Michael Burnham, like we're not. I almost wonder, you almost want to see, do you get a Burnham who comes off like Baltar, right? Like, ooh, we don't know if we should actually trust him, and even I don't feel like we're even there yet with Lorca yet. Maybe.
I don't know. When he said he shot his crew, I was pretty like, Ahab, we're done. Yeah. Like you're a crazy man. You shot your crew because basically it's also this like God complex thing of like, I'll be the one to kill them rather than them. It's weird. Lorca's dark.
One of the things I don't like about the show is, okay, like with the cuss words, them saying shit and the F word. It's kind of like, that's the new trend in television is for people to cuss on TV now because they can,
But do you think that was just them saying, oh, here, we're gonna justify our paywall and show you guys why we need this paywall? And I literally wanted to just turn off the TV.
It didn't feel organic.
At all, I would never know because
it was out of nowhere.
Right, because I always liken people that work on any Star Trek ship as to be like really articulate, well-spoken, and like the bar is raised. This is fucking cool. It is stupid.
That's right. It is fucking cool.
Right. The best swearing in any Trek we ever got is in Star Trek 4 when Spock is trying out swearing.
Yeah.
Right? Inappropriately. Yeah. That's the best part.
That'd be fun if we had Saru trying it out for the first time.
This is that shit. And then the LGBT component on the show too, being a gay male. I always, of course, inherently, I'm gonna have a strong visceral response to that, right? I liked. Last week we said, it's Colbert and Stamets, are they in cahoots together? And they are, and that was it was nice to see that. It was nice to see an interracial couple. It was nice to see their exchange.
And then just brushing their teeth in such a very
right. And what he said was that I was trying to save you. Like I get that because I would give my life for my husband. You know what I mean? So that to me I thought that was done well. Even though I don't like how on a lot of TV shows, I'm sorry, they're trying to, since diversity is cool and because the LGBTQ component or device in a show brings views, people are interested in that, they want to use that. It was done right.
Yeah, I mean, they got Anthony Rapp and Wilson Cruz, who are huge like LGBTQ like icons, both.
And great actors.
And I feel like if you're gonna go there with the best, right?
Go home.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna bring in the heavy hitters here,
Does Stamets have brown teeth? I'm sorry, just on the side, learning from the toothbrushing scene.
Right.
Does he have brown teeth?
Well, because when he was on the floor after he was injected, I was like,
I think that was an after effect of the shot or something, because his teeth are not normally that color.
Kim, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, they looked brownish in the thing.
That's the trend in the future.
Brown teeth.
Browning.
Like you spit tobacco, it's brown teeth.
I can afford tobacco. I'm rich. Brown teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. We can afford healthcare and everything. I'm gonna replicate enough tobacco and just have brown teeth.
I think this show was the jumping off point for a new arc because the tardigrade, come on, panel. Like I was sick of seeing the worm. It was like the poor thing. Now it's dehydrated. It's mad. It's really upset.
It's pouting.
It was
it's in its emotions.
How they went out of their way to give like emotions and what is the word, personify this thing.
Yeah.
And I have no reason to really care about it because
like how many conversations did they have on whether or not it was sentient? It's crying, dude. Like move past it. Like y'all are torturing the poor Free Willy thing. Like move on.
The giant water bear.
Yeah, I mean, because
it was a worm, right?
Well, tardigrades aren't really worms.
I don't even know what it was, but I swear to you, when they let it go and it opened its thing up, I could hear the Michael Jackson music underneath it. Like it was
like the River Jordan.
That's exactly what it was. It's exactly what it was, and it was not good. It was not a good look.
All right, well, I think we've beaten this dead water bear enough. Mixed
It's not
feelings
dead,
on this.
it's just super hibernation.
Yes, super sleepy.
And it's dehydrated, allegedly.
On purpose.
Yeah, so mixed feelings. I thought this was one of the better ones.
I don't hate it, but it's really trying my patience and loyalty, I suppose.
I think we need to lower our expectations and try with episode 6. Try and with whatever contents are in episode 6, try to see it with fresher eyes and have a different perspective since we're obviously disappointed. What do you guys say?
Because we know what Star Trek should be, right?
Yeah.
And it's not there yet. I hope it gets there. I think we all hope it gets there. And since it's a Star Trek, it's gonna get, it starts on second base.
Yeah,
right? Like
it does start.
It's got that fan base that it probably
for
has.
better or worse.
Right.
It starts on second base with 2 outs though.
Well,
that's the problem, or at least 1 out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes next week. Join us next week. We'll be back for what, episode 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better.
It's gonna be better. Putting it out there.
Put it into the universe.